Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day. Look who's back, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Schuster.
Van Winkle.
There you go. How's it going, Bill?
Pretty good, Armando. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Uh, Good to have you back on the show. It's been a while.
Yes, yes, it has.
Yes.
Took a bit
Ladies
of a
and gentlemen,
sabbatical for
yeah, a hell of a sabbatical, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we're gonna do an episode that we've been talking about doing for about a year and a half now. We are going to be finishing off our Rush times three segments with a double shot of ranking the albums. Rush have 19 studio albums to date, and yes, they have reformed to do a basically a world tour with Annika Niles on drums. We won't go into that, whether you agree or not. That's I think it's wonderful, but that's not that's not why we're here. We have 19 albums to talk about. A little brief history on Rush, and a little warning. We're dealing with technical effing glitches today. Twice before we started taping, so we're gonna try and piece this SOB together as quickly as we can.
blow the
Um,
bones.
Rush formed in 1968 in Toronto as with various lineup members and changes. The original lineup was a trio consisting of Geddy Lee on bass and vocals, Alex Lifeson on lead and rhythm guitar, and John Rutsey on drums and percussion. John Rutsey left after the release of the debut self-titled album released on Moon Records in 1974. Depending on what rumor or story you believe, whether it was Rush, the other two members wanted to go into another, like more of a progressive rock direction, or it was dealing with, had to do with, sorry, John Rutsey's health conditions, dealing with diabetes. Whatever the story is, it's out there in the ether. But they've gone on to sell, and I was surprised to read this, 40 million albums worldwide. I thought it would have been more, with 26 million in the States alone. Uh, just an amazing band. We lost Neil Peart in 2020, which actually saw the end of the band in the, for the time being. However, the band, Getty and Alex, have decided to reform and have recruited Annika Niles on drums. She's an amazing talent. They're on a world tour that's going to kick off very soon. Are you going? I'm not. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's mucho dinero, and I cannot afford it. I did get tickets for Triumph, by the way. So for May
That other
7th.
Canadian trio.
Yes, yes, with April Wine opening. So, I mean, it's which is interesting because none of the original members of April Wine, I believe, are in the band anymore. So, anyways, that's neither here nor there. We are going to give you our ranking the albums of Rush. Part one, we're going to go through albums 19 through 11, and part two, we're going to go through albums, you guessed it, 10 through 1. So, I was raised right by my mama, and I've only had 3 sips of coffee, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Bill is going to kick off his list with his number 19. Hopefully, the internet connection stays.
Yeah,
Go
no
for it.
strings. All right. I just want to emphasize that we're not trying to be, super objective here. We're not trying to necessarily say these are absolutely how these albums need to be rated. I can say for myself, this is just absolutely my favorites at this moment in time. If I were to pick them, this is the order I would choose to listen to the most often. The ones near the top are the ones that mean the most to me right now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that said, my number 19 has to be one of them. So the very last is the very second. Fly by Night. Uh, I love the title song. The band apparently doesn't because it seems they stopped playing it after the mid 70s and kind of never went back to it, but it is a radio staple, of course. At least it used to be.
Still is here. Yeah.
Yeah. In the end, is pretty solid. Anthem's great, though. I'm not a fan of Neil's Ayn Rand era type lyrics. Uh, so musically wonderful lyrics I could pretty much do without there. I guess my main thing with Fly By Night is this is Neil's first album with the band, and well, they were finding their way on the first album, but they're kind of still doing it here.
Yeah.
Um, they are attempting to assimilate Neil into the band and go into a new style. And I think it shows that they still haven't figured out exactly what they want to do yet. So it doesn't all work out so well for me. Now,
Hmm.
I'm a fanboy here pretty much. I'll just throw it out there. I don't think they ever made a bad album. So
Yeah.
I don't dislike this album. But it is the least likely to get play from me. So that is a badass cover still. I have a t-shirt too. So Fly By
Yeah.
Night 19.
All right. I'm going to get kicked in the ass for this, metaphorically, of course. My number 19 is their debut, um, released on Moon Records before they signed with Mercury Records in the US and started their own Anthem entertainment label in Canada. Good album. Working Man and In the Mood is still played on K97 Classic Rock Radio here in Edmonton. Just a really good blues rock album, but pretty much bare bones. And I do believe Geddy Lee was writing the lyrics for this album. And yeah, I mean, killer guitar from Alex Lifeson, obviously. But yeah, I mean, again, they were finding their way. It's like, with this release. And there's a lot of hunger on the album, in terms of just wanting to be in the studio. And I was just gonna say, Geddy Lee's voice, love it or hate it. I know someone who just cannot stand it, but that's another issue. Hi, Ken. Anyways, that's my number 19, their debut, Rush.
Sorry, I forgot for those who haven't heard or seen him before, I have a cockatiel named Duke in this room with me. I forgot to take him out before we started recording.
It's okay.
Usually he's been pretty quiet, but he decided to start talking.
It's okay. It's okay.
So
Let
let
him
me know
talk.
if it gets yeah,
Yeah, no, I'll
too
give you
much
that.
here.
I'll let you know. You're
All
number
right.
18. Go ahead.
My number 18 is your number 19, the debut. This for the longest time was the bottom for me, but I found lately I said how they were still trying to find their way on Fly By Night. I think they had found their way here. Not lyrically, because I mean the story behind that supposedly is that John Rutsey was responsible for the lyrics, and they showed up at the studio. He didn't have them, so Getty had to make them up quickly in the studio, and that's why the lyrics are pretty half-assed. So,
Yeah,
uh, as we found out later, Getty and Alex can both actually write based on their solo material, but this was a quickie. So,
yeah,
but musically though, these guys had been together for a while. They'd been playing together for years, so they worked well as a band. And I think John Rutsey really did a great job on this album on drums. He's
yeah,
not Neil, but he doesn't need to be for this. Um, this is a different kind of thing. This is just I've heard it said before, and I agree basically that if this was a one off, if this was the only album they ever did, that this would be remembered as one of those cult classic, 70s hard rock albums.
yeah, yeah,
That people would be like, "Did you ever hear that one Rush album, man? Yeah, that was cool." Because yeah, it's a good ballsy Zeppelin-y bluesy rock album,
yeah, yeah,
and it doesn't need to be more than that. So
yeah,
Working Man kind of is. I mean, that thing is still constantly played for a reason. That
yeah,
definitely foreshadows their proggier future.
yeah. And that guitar, that building guitar solo on the end that just increases in speed, and it's like, well, okay, all right. It's like, all right, go on. I can see what you're doing. All right. And it's
Uh,
gotta be said, this album, the debut album, broke in Detroit. The first place in the first city in the States of Brooklyn was Detroit, because of a DJ that just started playing the shit out of the album, and it got noticed by Mercury Records, A&R people at Mercury Records, and they got signed. Just so happened that John Rutsey was left just before they got signed. Good choice. My number 18, Hold Your Fire, from 87, with that interesting cover on the front. Front cover. You know, this was the out of the three mid 80s albums, Grace Under Pressure, Power Windows, and Hold Your Fire. This was when the band were, I guess, accused, quote unquote, of being immersed in their synth period, using synthesizers, etc., to a great extent. Good album. I like the single Time Stand Still with Amy Mann on co-lead vocals. I just think it's a good rock pop track, very melodic, very sentimental, very heartfelt track, with lyrics like going fast, nights growing colder, that kind of thing. Like the feeling of like the sentiment of aging happening. Like you're getting older, you're moving on in life, right? Things are changing, evolving. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad, but it is what it is. Had a killer hook, but the rest of the album, it's all right. I mean, Force 10, it's all right too. But this album did get a lot of stick and a lot of shit, okay, when it came out from hardcore Rush fans. But that's
Still
my,
does.
it still does. I think yeah, if I remember correctly, I did my top three mid 80s Rush albums. I think, yeah, this was my number three because they were using a lot of keyboards at this point. And going forward, Alex Lifeson said, to quote a line from a movie, I'm going to paraphrase, no more fucking keyboards. Just moving on, right? We have to get back to the basics for me and more guitar. But there you go. There you go. All
Spoiler,
right.
you did.
And they did. They did with Presto and going forward. So that's my number 18. Hold your fire.
All right. This one is the second of two albums produced by this gentleman. Um, this one has pretty much been near the bottom of my list for a very long time. It's produced by Rupert Hine. It's Roll the Bones.
Oh.
Really a pretty popular album. This got a ton of radio play here in the States. KC95 in St. Louis played Ghost of a Chance, Dreamline, and the title track To Death. And
Hmm.
they fit right in with all the grunge stuff and everything that was current at that time. So that was when Rush was still an actual successful rock radio band, which was kind of cool in retrospect. That seems like so long ago. So it was great to hear those songs. And I love all three of those. I think those are excellent top tier Rush tracks, especially Ghost of a Chance. I love the lyrics on that. It's one of Neil's meditations on, love, religion, whatever, all the above. And it has one of Alex's greatest solos in it. Um, so, yeah, that's an amazing track in particular. And Bravado is quite lovely, quite powerful. But I feel like there's a lot of just okay, average songs on this album.
Hmm.
Even Where's My Thing, the instrumental is just, it's probably their weakest instrumental, I think. You Bet Your Life, Neurotica, The Big Wheel, Face Up, they're okay. And that, and as much as I love Rupert Hine working with the likes of Saga and The Fix, I'm glad he did his two Rush albums because it's a cool, interesting sound and it adds variety to their catalog. But I'm glad he didn't do more than two because they sound a bit anemic on the albums that he produced. And
Oh,
Rush should never sound anemic.
okay.
They should sound big and bold and in your face.
Okay.
So, yeah, great cover though. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, that made an impact, that cover. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So my number, yeah, 17. Roll the bone.
17. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not confer on our list. My number 17 is Roll the Bones. For everything that Bill said, the first of all, their first release for Atlantic Records, they left Mercury Records at this point in 1990 after the release of Chronicles, their double CD greatest hits package, which oddly enough, as much as I knew of Rush throughout the 70s, I was, you know, 7 or 8 when I've really started to hear about Rush. I bought Chronicles in 1990, and I just dove in. Thank you, Columbia House. Getting those CDs. But yeah, Roll the Bones again, first release for Atlantic Records in '91. Roll the Bones was all over. I was going to say MTV, Much Music in Canada at the time, and yeah. But to me, that was the only song that they really played on, like the only video that they really played. I'm not sure if they had any other videos released. And maybe they had singles, but no, maybe no videos produced for it. It's a good album. I need to spend more time with it again. But yeah, I agree with what you said about Rupert Hines' production. And that's not to take anything away from Rupert Hines, but you know, these when you do these lists, they have to go somewhere, right? In terms of the order. And just because an album is at the bottom of the list doesn't mean, even though it's 19 albums, it doesn't mean that they're bad. But I basically went with the albums I usually would go towards in terms of listening to most. So yeah, that's my number 17, Roll the Bones.
All
Yeah.
right. So going on that theme that we didn't confer before this, my number 16 is Hold Your Fire. The second album produced by Mr. Peter Collins.
Yeah, yeah. Who would go
And
on to produce Bon Jovi, these days, etc. Go on. Yeah.
yeah, and I like Peter Collins. Well, yeah, this is my least favorite of his Rush productions. I like the other three quite a bit better, but it's not to say it's a bad production. I actually don't mind the sound of this album. Um, I don't think it's any more keyboard heavy than Power Windows, but the songs are not here. It's kind of like Roll the Bones. There are some really killer tracks, like you had mentioned, Time Stands Still. That is an all-time great Rush track. It's a very emotional, powerful song. It was an excellent single, sounded great on the radio. I mean, Mission is wonderful. And I just want to throw this out there because there's a lot of Taishan haters. I like Taishan a lot. I think it's a beautiful song. It's Rush doesn't always have to be about let's see how many notes we can play, let's see how complicated we can get, how much we can show off.
The power
Simple
chords
songs
too.
can
Yeah.
work. So,
Yeah.
and I think Taishan is one of their best simple songs, even though they didn't seem to much like it themselves either. So what do I know? But
You
yeah,
know a
generally
lot.
speaking, though, yeah, it has that roll the bone syndrome of, well, some of these songs they're just kind of okay. Now there are some people who absolutely adore this album. I've known people who consider this the best Rush album, and that's one of the cool things about a band like this. The fans are all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, hold your fire. It's not bad, but well, here it is at 16, so it's not one of the top for me.
Um, just a quick question. A little diversion here. What is your view on Annika Niles on drums for this tour? Just quickly.
I haven't even bothered to listen to her actually because I know I'm not going to see the tour. I'll wait if they decide, and they probably will, to inevitably put out a Blu-ray of the concert. I will undoubtedly buy it and check it out then. But um, my basic view, without getting too deep into it, is Geddy and Alex are Rush. They're the surviving members. This is their band name, their brand. They can do whatever the hell they want. And if they chose her, they must know something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it makes them happy, by God, they've given me lots of joy in my life with their music. So more power to them.
Yeah. I've seen snippets of videos of her playing, and she is a powerhouse. She is a powerhouse. She can keep up, and people are saying, "Oh, the pure Rush, the purists for Rush was like, you know." this is sacrilege. It's like,
I
whatever.
did wonder one quick thing on that. I did wonder while I was listening through the catalog yesterday. I wonder if they're going to give her a drum solo, or if they're just going to avoid that altogether, because that'll open up a whole different hornet's nest there among certain fans. So,
Do you know something? Just quickly, I saw a video of Nick Collins, Phil Collins' son, who's a drummer, fantastic drummer. And there was a video of him. He was in the studio. He was on a podcast, and they set him up on a drum kit really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. And they said, "Can you play the overture and Temple of Syrinx, from 2112? Can you do it?" So they did the playback for him, and he's listening to it. And he's like, "Oh shit, oh shit." He says, "I need a pen and paper. I need to transcribe this. Hold on a second." He wrote it down and goes, "Okay, let's do it." Fucking nailed it. But he's like, "Holy shit." It's like, this is too much. But she can do it. Oh my God, she's amazing. But that's just my opinion. All right, back to the regular schedule program, ladies and gentlemen. My number 16, Presto, from 89, with Show Don't Tell, Superconductor, my favorite track on the album. Good album. Good album. They're moving away from the keyboards back into, guitar, bass, and drums. Uh, Show Don't Tell is the lead single. Is that right? Is that right? Has it aged well for me? I like Superconductor better. It's just like a just fast-paced track, just wonderful guitar, and wonderful incidental vocals from on the chorus from Alex Lifeson. Altered pitch, but you know, heavy guitars all get out. And to me, Superconductor is about put through being put through your paces in terms of being on parade, being on show, like hawking your wares kind of thing, right? Um, just a really good, fast-paced, ass-kicking track. But I do need to spend more time with this album. I need to go back and listen to it again. I haven't listened to it in years, but that's my number 16, Presto.
all right. Well, once again, folks, Presto is my number 15. This is the other Rupert Hine production, and that's part of the reason it's here. Sorry, Rupert. Stick to Saga and the Fix next time. Well, all right. Yeah. Um, this I actually do like a lot of songs on here. There's a few just okay songs, but I think Available Light is one of their unsung classics.
Okay.
That's just a gorgeous song. I'd like to hear it with more full-bodied production. I'd like to hear what Peter Collins could have done with it. The Pass, of course, you know, Neil's lyric about suicide. Yeah, that one affects a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it can be a pretty powerful song depending on where you're at in life. And so yeah, I'm not gonna smack talk that song at all. It's a wonderful song. Um, I like the title cut quite a bit, Presto, and yeah, I dig Superconductor. It's a cool rocking song. A lot of people hated it, and I know a lot of people thought it was really bizarre that they combined it with part of Xanadu on the tour. And yeah, that is rather bizarre, but okay. I didn't see that show, so yeah, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's nice. War Paint's cool, but overall, yeah, it's just okay. I liked it more back then. It hasn't aged as well. Again, I don't think there's any bad Rush albums, but this is not one I reach for as often. So
Yeah.
Presto is number 15, and I'm all out of Rupert Hind albums.
Okay. All right. My number 15 is Test for Echo from 96, with the single Drive. This was just before I think they went on an extended hiatus with Neil Peart dealing with some family tragedies that were going on, losing his wife and daughter, uh, close proximity to one another, unfortunately. It's a good album. There's that one track, Limbo. I think I haven't listened to this album that much, but I kind of felt that they did this album just to sort of give out product. There's really nothing that kind of stands out except for this track Drive. Heavy guitar on this album, but it's just yeah. Maybe I'll need to revisit it again just to sort of maybe rediscover it. But the one track Drive is the one track that really stands out to me. Um, but yeah, that's my number 15, Test for Echo.
Well, here we're going to deviate greatly.
Okay.
This is the one where if people are still here, some of them may change the channel. So my number 14 is Hemispheres. And yeah, this is the number one for many old school fans, especially the people that love the proggy rush above all else. Um, yeah, it's a great album. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I got the little picture disc back there on the wall behind me. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
uh, there's not a bad track on this album. They're all quite good at minimum, but I don't know. Again, the trees that has another one of those Ayn Rand inspired lyrics that
When
musically the song is outstanding. It's really cool, but uh, La Villa Strongiato, uh, yeah, it's a good instrumental, but it's not my favorite Rush instrumental. I know for many people it is, and that's understandable. It's
sacrilege, go on.
yeah, oh yeah, like I get it. This is a super popular album amongst the hardcore fan base here, or at least the fans of that particular period. This is
Period. Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
one. Circumstances. That's probably the least song on the album. It's a cool little rocker, but it compared to the others, it doesn't really stand out so much. And obviously, the big track is Cygnus X1 Book Two, the sequel to Cygnus X1 from the previous album.
Book one. Yeah.
Um, and I've said this on a million shows before. This is my least favorite of their three album length or album side length tracks.
Yeah.
So that's not to say it's bad. I think it's a really good song, but I think here maybe they got a little too refined, too professional somehow. It's kind of difficult to put this in words what I'm feeling about this song here.
Hmm.
It's just too perfect somehow. It's
Okay.
almost like business like let's see what we can do as this as far as we can go prog band and it's
Yeah.
it just doesn't work for me as well as the others do.
Okay.
So it's still a great album, still love it, but obviously not enough to put it higher than number 14. So there we go, Hemispheres. My first probably very
Controversial
yeah.
pick. Yeah. Okay. My number 14, Get the Guns Out, Signals. Featuring New Old Man. Subdivisions, my favorite track on the album. Uh, yeah, it's a good album. Alex Lifeson has said that he felt that the keyboards took a front seat maybe too much on this album, and they got off track with regards to what they were doing in the studio. Which is why the follow-up Grace Under Pressure was more guitar oriented. And I've gained a new respect for Grace Under Pressure, I gotta say. But I loved Subdivisions as a track. And by the way, that video, when the kid gets thrown his math book, I had that very same math book in high school in at West Toronto Secondary School, which is now West Toronto Collegiate. Uh, I'm telling you, I had the same math book in grade 10. Uh, but yeah, it's a good album, and it's the last album to be produced by Terry Brown. They would go on to work with Peter Henderson to mix results on their part, they believe. But Yeah, that's my number 14, Signals from 82.
My number 13 is the other album you were just talking about, Grace Under Pressure. Um, yeah, I like this album quite a bit. The big track, of course, with the video with the kid riding on the missile, Distant Early Warning. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a classic. Red Sector A, Neil writing lyrics essentially based on, you know, Getty's family members'
Yeah,
experiences in concentration camps during World War II, and just
that was hard.
pretty
Yeah, that's
powerful.
hard.
And in between those two, you have After Image, which was Neil's lyric about a friend who had died
A tape
and
operator.
dealing with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's three killers in a row there. Um, I kind of think the midsection, while there's not a song I dislike, until you get to the final track, I don't think there's another one that's quite on par with those first three. But that last track, oh, that last track, Between the Wheels, is an ass kicker. I absolutely love that song. I mean, the keyboard that opens it is very much of its era. It's just powerful. That dan 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 dan. Oh yeah, this is man. That thing should have been on the radio. All right, that's not exactly a hit there, but in a just world, it ought to be.
Yeah.
Between the Wheels, it was great when they finally decided to whip that one out back in the 2000s and play it live. I was a
Yeah.
big fan of hearing that live. Now I know how that rabbit feels.
Yeah.
So yeah, Peter Henderson didn't work out so much. That's why, even though I'm not paying for the new Grace Under Pressure set, I am curious to hear. They did have Terry Brown do a remix of the album, so I'm curious to hear what he'll do with it.
Um, yeah. Um, Little footnote. I pre-ordered the album, the box set. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can avoid paying $538 for a box set, please do. Mm, It's gone down on Amazon.ca by $100. And the good thing with Amazon, when you pre-order something, if the price goes down on the pre-order, you pay the lower price. So if you can get it for cheaper, go for it. Yeah, it didn't work out with Peter Henderson because according to them, he was indecisive with his decision making. So pretty much they were left to doing it on their own, and they got frustrated with him. So, um, but yeah, no, it's a good album. More we'll talk about that later on on my list. My number 13. Snakes and Arrows. I didn't even know this album existed until like 2011, really. I really didn't know. I honestly didn't know. This album, I do like the instrumental Hope that is a solo written track, like written by Alex Lifeson, uh, credited under his real name. I can't like in terms. I can't even say the name,
Yeah,
but
Zena, yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah. And that and then quotes that they said in the credits that he wrote it all by himself, that kind of thing. Good for him. Um, the story about Hope was that they were in the studio and Geddy Lee is on the computer trying to sequence a certain bass part, like just, using, I guess, the Pro Tools software. And Alex is there with his acoustic guitar just playing this piece. And Getty's like, he's on the computer, turns around, and goes, play that again. Play that again. And Alex is like, play what again? I'm just tuning up. He goes, no, 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 you got something there. Play what you just played. And they recorded it. It was, I think it took one or two, maybe three takes at the most. And Hope was born. I kind but again, I need to spend more time with this album. I really didn't know this album. I didn't know that this album existed. But Hope puts it at number 13 for me. It's it's a good album. I just need to go back and say, oh, all right, I like this. Just get more of an appreciation for it. But That's my number 13, Snakes and Arrows.
Let's see. My number 12. If hemispheres didn't run people off, this one might. Uh, at 12 is 2112.
Hmm.
One of the two best selling Rush albums, along with Moving Pictures, of course. Eternally popular. Everybody loves it. And I do too. Just because it's a number 12 doesn't mean I don't love it. I think this thing is outstanding. Uh, the actual song 2112, it gets a little slow at times. I get they're going for the story, but used to play the rock band, the Guitar Hero games with a group of friends, and woo, anytime that we were together and this was available, they all let it be known that I was torturing them, making them play the entire 2112 track on that game.
Oh, okay.
I about put them to sleep with the midsection there.
Okay.
Make of that what you will. We have a lyric from Alex here with Lessons, a lyric from Getty with Tears, and they both did a pretty solid job, much better than the stuff that Getty had to throw together for the debut. So already getting an idea. All right, this guy's
Yeah.
he actually has some gray matter up here. Give him a minute to I think Tears is a pretty touching song too. Quite nice by Getty, and it's another one of those slow songs, along the lines of Taishan and whatnot. Again, another one that doesn't have to be all flashy.
Hmm.
Yeah, Twilight Zone, Something for Nothing, pair of kick-ass rockers. Passage to Bangkok is goofy fun. I mean, let's travel the world and see how high we can get. I mean, it was the 70s, that's for sure.
Oh,
Um,
hello. That's like, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
yeah, it's a classic, a great album, but somehow when I was going through listening to the entire catalog from start to finish again, this ended up here at 12. So
All
there we
right.
go.
Okay. My number 12 is Power Windows from 85. Uh, with the songs Mystic Rhythms, The Big Money, which was the lead off single. Again, keyboards galore, program keyboards and but The Big Money, talks about commercialism and what move, money talks and bullshit walks. Pretty much. Fantastic percussive track as a lead off single. Uh, Mystic Rhythms is another one. There's another good track. This was when they were mired in the synth as a bedrock to the tracks that they were writing and putting together and arranging. But kick-ass guitar, sorry, from soloing from Alex Lifeson on the album and the track to The Big Money, just amazing. And the fact that they're doing the video playing, walking around on a Monopoly board kind of thing, right? Just to sort of drive home what the song is about, right? But that's my number 12, Power Windows.
Very first Peter Collins production. Oh, all right. Armando's mentioned this one already. My number 11 is Signals. Woof, woof. And I agree. Subdivisions, I don't care how overplayed it is. That's one of their greatest tracks. That's one of anybody's greatest tracks. That is one of the handful of songs that uh, probably guaranteed brought in 10% of Rush fans just by the lyrics alone.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you do this to me? I mean,
I don't know, man. Yeah, that
every,
song still gets me, man. That's why this band is a band for, so many people, but in particular, the oddballs that don't fit in, the outcasts, the not so cool kids. There's a reason this song resonates with so many people.
Christ.
Um, the next track, the Analog Kid, is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, yeah, the fawn-eyed girl. Oh my, yeah, I love Analog Kid. Chemistry, yep, love that too. Digital Man, it's solid. The weapon's solid. but not my favorites on here. Kind of same with Countdown. It's a cool song, but the two besides the opening trio that really get me are New World Man and Losing It. I mean, New World Man was the single and is their only top 40 hit in the States, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it, but totally fits because it really is kind of a new wavy sounding single that fits right in with the
Yeah,
times there.
yeah,
And
with
it has a
the
pretty cool lyric. Um,
yeah, with the intro of the Moog bass that like the synth or Moog bass that comes in on the intro. Yeah, that is sort of new wave feel. And then yeah,
and then, of course, we have Losing It with Ben Mink as a rare guest on a
yeah,
Rush album playing
yeah,
violin here. Yeah, that lyric on Losing It, that is wow.
yeah,
Yep, that is just about as bad as Subdivisions. I mean, as far as getting me choked up, that's especially as I age. Because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a song about aging and how we can't do the things we used to do. And it's an absolutely beautiful lyric by Neil. Um, there's a reason this guy is one of my two favorite lyricists. So, and one of the huge reasons I'm a fan of this band is because of his lyrics.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
I
I get
shit talk the Ayn Rand era lyrics and all the pans to her objectivism philosophy and everything. That's not really my cup of tea. But once he got into the '80s and beyond, he took off like a freaking rocket as a lyricist,
yeah.
and got into all kinds of great human-centered lyrics. So,
Hmm.
and we'll see some of those coming up. So yeah, that's my number 11, Signals.
It's a good one. And by the way, the character in Subdivisions, that's me trying to fit in as a kid. It wasn't going to happen. It didn't happen. It wasn't going to happen. Uh,
Conform or be cast out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not much of a conformist, never have been.
No, and that hairstyle proves it. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
I was going to add some color, but I didn't have time, so it could have
No,
been
I
any
know. I know. I know. I know. You look like Grizzly Adams. Yeah, but Grandpa Grizzly Adams. There we go. My number 11, and to finish off part one of our ranking the albums for Rush, is Fly By Night from '75. Um, the first release for Mercury Records in the States, major deal that they got signed to. Uh, was it a big hit for them? No. Were they still finding their way? Damn right. But this was where they started to go into the prog realm in terms of Bytor and the Snow Dog, etc. Even Geddy Lee said in 1990, and then start again in a 1990 interview. Geddy Lee said, "Can someone tell me what Bytor and the Snow Dog is all about? I have no idea." And I sang the shit. I sang the shit and I didn't even know what it's about, right? Go ask Neil. You know what I mean? But Fly By Night's a good track as a radio friendly track. It's still played on K97 here in Edmonton. Um, Anthem is another good track. They were going into the prog realm, right? And with Neil as the lyricist at this point, or taking over that area, the majority of that at this point, they were on their way. Did they find their way yet? No, but they were doing the music they wanted to do, and this album proves it. And I didn't even know this album existed until 1985. Like I was in the record store with a friend who's now passed away, um, and he's buying Rush cassettes. He bought Caress of Steel, and he bought Fly By Night. I'm like, this is Rush? I had no idea. Right? He goes, no, no, these are good. I'm like, okay, all right. So that's my number 11, closing
those
out
were the
part
days.
one. Hmm? Yeah,
Finding bits, yeah. Albums you didn't even know existed from bands. Yeah, those were good times.
yeah. I mean,
Harder to do nowadays, but
yeah, no, it's true. I remember, obviously I remember A Farewell to Kings, but I had no idea that Fly By Night or Caress of Steel existed, right? That's like when I first realize, Queen had a debut album named Queen, self-titled. I had no idea. It's like, ooh, it's like, like, give me that. But yeah, I mean, that was always the good thing about going to record stores, just losing yourself for at least 3 or 4 hours in a store and just, ooh, like everything was brand new, you know. Um, so. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Numbers 19 to 11 in part one of our ranking the albums of Rush. We are going to be coming back with part two, where we go through numbers, you guessed it, 10 to 1. I want to thank Bill for joining me on this episode, and he's coming back for part two.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me. Good to be back.
oh, it's wonderful that you're back, and we're going to have you back more, hopefully. Please, you've been away too long. Guys, let
I
us
don't
know
get
your
canceled for my picks anymore.
Well, there you go. There you go. No, you're not canceled yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put down in the comments below your picks for your favorite Rush albums. We want to get a dialogue going on this, right? So give us your numbers 19 to 11 in part one. And again, we're going to come back with part two with numbers 10 to 1. It only gets better from here. So stick around for that. And click like and subscribe. And do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we got coming up. And we'll see you soon again on the Music Den. Please look after yourselves and one another. Have a great day. Bye for now.